Clive Dickens from Southern Cross Austereo. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Welcome. We're talking about radio and the future of radio and just an open-ended discussion. Want to get your feedback and thoughts, and maybe I could kick it off by saying, are you happy with the way radio has evolved recently?
Yeah, look, I think overall we have a very, very bright future if we remember that consumers will always want to consume some content with their ears. You know, we have to drive, we have to walk, we have to cook, we have to work, we have to relax, and therefore listening to something, whether that's music or radio or audio books or some other form of audio entertainment, is always going to be important for the human psyche. The radio industry and the music industry have almost solely occupied that space for the last 100 years. And we should expect that space is now being challenged by others who want to get to your ears as well. And you can't close your ears, you can close your eyes. And we shouldn't be freaked out by the fact that this really important space that we call eartime is now being invaded by others. But if we stay true to what we knew that consumers connected with in the first place, which was their emotions and stories and entertainment and information, and stop worrying about having an inferiority complex about our ability to survive, then we'll be fine and we'll thrive. But there will be more competition and it will get harder and the margins will be less and there will be more to learn and keep up.
And that's just the new reality.
It's the new reality.
It sounds like as part of your ethos is to stay one step ahead, or at least on the cutting edge of what's happening in a technological sense. I mean, getting your grade schoolers to code and staying on top of all of the latest trends and ways to engage the audience. These are all things that they seem to be a vital part of just the way you operate. Would you say that is necessary for today's radio leader or exec?
Absolutely. I can't claim to have all the answers. I learn new stuff every day. I commit huge amounts of time to reading and learning, and I learn from my team. I typically want to employ brighter people than me. I didn't go through a college education. I was too busy at the radio station, and I surround myself with people who have different experiences than me, younger, smarter, fitter, think more creative, and then I learn from them. And I've been very fortunate in my career for at least the last 15 years. I've had fantastic experiences by hiring great talent. And people talk in radio business, the word talent was traditionally used to describe the broadcaster, the jock, the on-air announcer, the morning show host. Now the talent has to be right across your business. And some of the most talented people now are in the tech industry. And the rock stars of today are the Mark Zuckerbergs and the Elon Musks. They're the rock stars. The people who learn to code are the rock stars. There are no more rock stars. Chris Martin's not a rock star. Miley Cyrus is not a rock star. But Elon Musk is a rock star. Right. Mark Zuckerberg is a rock star. And how did that happen? Where actually at school they were called the geeks. And I was pretty close to the geeks, but I wasn't quite one because I didn't know how to code. And that's how much the world has changed. And if you surround yourself with smart people and take in their passions and learn from them, then you just can't fail, because we're all still learning every day.
If you were to open or start a radio business today from scratch, first of all, would you? And second of all, how would you?
Well, absolutely. I started the radio business most recently 5 years ago, that I recently sold to a big radio group in December, along with my colleagues and some investment from Asia. I own 3 local FM radio stations in Oxford, England, which are doing really well, and so I'm passionate about radio. And now I work for one of the biggest radio operators in the Asia Pacific region. But if I didn't have any of that and I was starting again, I would still do it all over again. And because the golden age of radio has yet to arrive.
I like that.
The golden age of radio has yet to arrive, because consumers will always need to will always have the capacity to consume some content whilst doing something else. multitasking.
Right.
And that doing something else, as I said, has been traditionally radio or listening to music. And whilst human beings will have to drive and walk and wash, and then they'll need to listen to something. And so I'd do it all again, and I would and just effectively learn from any mistakes I've made, which I've made more than a few. And effectively, probably the one difference would be that that the globalization opportunity now is so much more exciting than it was in the past. So whereas regulation binds you to a geography through license or rights or talent or time zone or currency or language, I think the digital economy allows you to globalize, and trying to create truly globalized, connected audio communities is the next big opportunity for the radio industry.